Hey people, CzarThwomp here, and welcome to the 6th and final bonus episode of Dragon Quest VIII. Last time, we defeated the Lord of the Dragovians, and learned that our hero is in fact the child of Eltrio and Zia. And we also tried to take on the Dragovian trials, only to get our asses handed to us by the Lord of the Dragovians. He absolutely whooped us. We managed to take down his first form barely with the help of our battle teams, but then the Vermilion Dragon came out and he whooped us. So anyways, I did a little snooping around, and apparently for defeating the Lord of the Dragovians during the trial, basically, you get your choice of 1 to 6 prizes. Basically, you can either choose to upgrade the alchemy pot, so that way basically just you don't have to wait for items. You basically just pop the items in, boom, they're all done already. You can also choose a Dragovian sword, which basically very powerful sword, which you can then fuse with the liquid metal slime sword to create an even stronger sword. You can also choose a Dragovian shield, which is a very powerful shield, and you can also pick between 1 of 4 pieces of Dragovian armor, basically. Or rather, 2 pieces of Dragovian armor. Basically, the Dragovian helmet and the Dragovian mail, basically. Get both of them, the hero's appearance changes to basically have some cool set of dragon armor. And you can also, and last but certainly least, you can select to have a Metal Slime King join your monster team, which arguably is okay. I mean, it could help you out with Mori, but it's not really going to help you in that regard. So what I would say is this: go with the sword first, so that way you can just really upgrade your hero's weapons out, and then basically go for the armor pieces, and then go for the alchemy pot, then go for the Metal Slime King, because basically by that point, by the time you get to the Dragovian trials, you pretty much have the gear that you need. It's more or less experience as well as strategy. So anyways, as you can probably guess, you can only get 1 prize after winning the first time. As for the other 5, you have to defeat the Dragovian King and the Dragovian Lord in a rematch. And here's the thing: each form, he gets stronger, he gets nastier, he gets deadlier attacks, and new strategies. So basically, you don't know the strategies, you're not strong enough, you get your ass whooped, you're back here at your save point. So anyways, so as you can probably guess, I am not doing that. I'm not doing that. We got everything we need. In fact, basically, we're going to be getting a secret ending that basically I did a check on, basically just seeing if having the ring and proving that we are in fact basically a descendant of Eltrio, basically we are Argonian blood. Basically, if that changes anything, and in fact it does unlock an ending. I didn't look at the ending because basically I wanted to experience it here fresh. But before we do that, let's go check out the bestiary. Okay. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to revive the monster team. Yep, gonna have to revive the monster team. But before that, though, let's go into our battle records. Well, Jessica seems to walk around in a heat wave. I start to perspire every time I go near her. No wonder she's so sparingly attired. Your ridiculously low level didn't seem to impede you when it came to pounding that blubber gut. Perhaps I should call you the puny powerhouse. Your reluctance to defeat monsters unless absolutely necessary warms my heart, but our foe in the sky cannot be spared. So yeah, so basically, interesting thing about what Trode says here. This is not some static text. Trode's text for both this and the game clear data will actually vary depending upon certain circumstances, such as, are you a high level at a certain point? For example, if you're level 8 when you're going to the waterfall, Trode will actually say that you are absolutely jacked, more or less. Likewise, if you complete the game in less than 24 hours, basically you reach the end, Trode will be like, oh my gosh, you're so fast! Yeah, basically. Yeah, funny how my most damage obtained is basically on Marcello. So anyways, yeah, basically, if you're going for a 100%, basically, have fun collecting all these items. It's interesting how basically you can just have all of these items here, just all of the memories. Okay, defeated monsters list. Yeah, this is gonna be a fun time. Huh, not as many as I thought. A well-known slime. Okay, I'm not gonna read the names out. A well-known monster commonly encountered throughout the world. Quite intelligent. Some have even managed to learn the human tongue. A happy-go-lucky, good-natured monster. Born with only one stripe, it grows another with each passing year. A slug-like creature with distinctively large lips. They seem to greet one another with big sloppy kisses. A bat-like monster that flies freely through the night sky. According to one account, they're born in a world without light. Yet we didn't see any in the dark world. The large horns above each ear fall off and grow back every year. The hornpipes they carry are carved from their old horns. A distinctive monster shaped like a pepper. In their culture, 2 is always better than 1, so they stick together with the help of a large skewer. A rabbit-like monster with a distinctive single horn growing from the middle of its forehead. Unlike normal rabbits, they are determinedly carnivorous, using their sharp horns to spear prey. Slimes of a different color, apparently due to a sudden mutation, although commonly referred to as she-slimes, their true gender remains unknown. A physical manifestation of fire magic. As this monster lacks a physical body, most physical attacks pass right through it. Try raising your tension when fighting them. Small but seriously strong. Once they psych themselves up, these pint-sized pests can inflict some disproportionately drastic damage. The mechanical bodies of these birds weigh more than Yangus after a big dinner. Impossible. They have a tendency to snap the tree branches where they roost and fall to earth with a metallic clunk. These sticky masses of muck are poisonous to the touch. Once a traveler comes into contact with a bubble slime's body in battle, the effects of the poison will persist until the individual is cured. A race of demons wearing what appear to be bright blue pants. They are rumored to drop them when defeated. Diminutive but resourceful monsters. Upon encountering an enemy, they keep their distance and let fly with long-range bow and arrow attacks. A hairy puffball monster whose love for unwanted old boots manifests itself in such the same way as a hermit crab's love for discarded shells. Related to the Draki, these monsters have evolved a green coloration to match their woodland habitat. They remain constantly airborne, smoothly dodging attacks while casting spells on their opponents. Despite their weighty appearance, these insectoid monsters are quite swift. They like to tackle their opponents head-on with the help of their huge horns. Juvenile forms of elite magical monsters. Imps try to cast spells which are far too powerful for them and fail every time. So essentially these are the baby versions of those archdemons that we've been seeing. Mushroom-shaped monsters with a sweet breath that puts enemies to sleep. They grow in humid areas like grasslands and deep forests. These foppish fiends leave foes floundering with their flamboyant foil work. Try saying that 3 times fast. When not showing off their skill with a sword, they like to demonstrate their dazzling dancing. A kindly slime that never hesitates to help comrades by casting healing spells, even when in danger itself. All in all, a supportive little monster. Not the largest monster in the world, but amongst the strongest. Their bodies seem even smaller next to the massive wooden mounts they carry. The unwieldiness of these weapons means they frequently miss. A feline monster with stripes reminiscent of a jailhouse convict, strangely popular amongst cat lovers, usually quite playful but capable of casting spells when provoked. Though quite weak in frog form, their attacks become far more dangerous when they reveal the human faces on their backs. Physically quite weak, but capable of wearing enemies down by repeatedly casting unpleasant spells, occasionally splits into 2 when losing a battle. An odd monster in the form of an eyeball with arms and legs, said to turn red and become very strong when angered. Ignore their cuddly appearance. These monsters are actually ruthless adversaries, capable of decreasing an enemy's tension whilst raising their own. Bulldog-like monsters that throw their spiked collars to ensnare enemies and make them easier to hit. A large moth-like monster that flies freely through the air on giant wings, capable of casting air-based spells on groups of enemies simultaneously. A monster shaped like a large bell, usually does nothing more than watch and laugh, but occasionally calls Jargons for help. Physically quite imposing, these monsters are also capable of breathing fire and throwing magical sand from their jars. They appear to enjoy a symbiotic relationship with dingalings. Drachimas are the mothers of Drakis. The lullabies they use to put their babies to sleep work just as well against their foes in battle. Powerful bird-like monsters that resemble two-legged bulls, sleepy and lethargic. They are foul-tempered when suddenly awakened. Okay, now I see it. Why did I think that wing was another leg for the longest time? Well, I'd be terrified of that thing in real life. Despite their silly appearance, these monsters are crafty opponents capable of preventing enemies from casting spells. Human knights that met a foul and painful end. Frustration and sadness at their pitiful fate keeps them in this world as undead monsters. Popular among adventurers for their inordinately large number of experience points they bestow. Although not particularly dangerous, their tendency to flee at the first sight of trouble makes them quite difficult to defeat. Yeah, as you can see, I have been really enjoying myself in defeating these things. Brownie. Usually calm and timid, these monsters psych themselves up to become vicious foes when provoked. Their tiny bodies conceal incredible power. A mutant fly grown to human size, known to carry rare treasures. They carry crap. A unique monster that delights in telling its opponents stories using hand puppets. Great archers in spite of their size, capable of surrounding opponents and unleashing a fusillade of arrows upon them. When trouble beckons, they swiftly call for reinforcements. A monster wrapped from head to toe in filthy old bandages, capable of spitting curses that envelop and immobilize enemies. Half man, half goat, and the worst of both. Usually timid, they turn red if provoked and call for yellow panpipers to join the fray. Angry at seeing their slime friends bullied by swaggering adventurers, these courageous little monsters swore an oath to defend them. Now they roam the land as knights on slime steeds. Sorry, just wanted to check. Kind of odd that we can't see the HP of these monsters. These mechanical birds are the result of a mad scientist's twisted experiments. When they detect a target, they become a deadly whirlwind of razor-sharp blades. Rightly feared for their habit of hiding in forests and ambushing travelers. When hurt, they pluck leaves from their own branches to use as healing herbs. Wet and glistening monsters said to carry various molds that can be used to make special cheeses. Mysterious monsters known for wearing eerie masks. Their real faces are said to be even scarier. As the name implies, a monstrous rotting corpse. Their foul appearance can cause your tension to decrease suddenly. Heavyweight monsters that dive bomb opponents, body slamming them into the ground. Extremely agile, these monsters are feared for their skillful rapier work and mercurial thrusts. Sorry, my mucus was getting up. A pair of psychotic peppers. Their crazed grins belie their wiliness in battle. They can prevent enemies from using spells and like to pummel their adversaries with body slams. The wings of these monsters are useful items that allow travelers to teleport to previously visited locations instantly. Mysterious masked monsters with a habit of hacking down unwary travelers. These vain creatures love to flex their muscles and psych up in front of their enemies. Known for their jumping abilities, these monsters wait for the best opportunity to attack their enemies. Watch out for their vicious slashes and formidable defense abilities. A surprisingly powerful monster. Its cute looks betray no hint that it is skilled at both fire and ice magic. A brute of a monster that wields a club to bash enemies. Even a single blow can inflict tremendous damage. A crude figure fashioned out of mud and animated with a magical spell. dances a strange dance that lowers the MP of opponents. A skillful mimic that disguises itself as a treasure chest. It waits quietly to be discovered, then chomps on unwary travelers with its sharp fangs, occasionally capable of landing devastating attacks. An enchanted bag of treasure-turned monster, highly resistant to almost every spell, except those that drain its magic. A sexy she-monster that seduces enemies with her puff-puff ability before unleashing a barrage of spells on her hapless foes. A cursed monster that continues to suffer even in death. As an undead creature, it hates the living and attacks travelers on sight. As the name implies, this is a slime capable of casting powerful curative magic. Defeat it quickly or it will heal its weaker comrades during battle. Oh, that's cure slime, not curse slime. The angry soul of a dead swordsman, inhabiting an empty suit of armor, occasionally summons heal slimes to assist it in battle. The soul of a slain traveler, endlessly wandering in search of its path back home. Oh cool, you can actually see the sprites. Phantom Fencer, a ragged cape enchanted by powerful magic, vulnerable to air-based spells. A gorgeous hunk of a demon that spins and uses its thorny tail as a whip. A strange creature with an eerie laugh. When you hear it, you know it's about to self-destruct. A monster with a gleaming golden coat, seems obsessed with collecting shiny objects. A horrifying mud monster that lives in the depths of the earth, extends a hand above ground to pull travelers to their doom. A feline monster that spends its days lazing about. In battle, its sleepiness can be contagious. The combined form of Mum, Both, Jum, and Bow rattles opponents by casting Boom and using earth-shaking physical attacks. Surprisingly ballsy for a monster that is an incompetent fighter at best when alone, but it seems to have some sort of trick up its sleeve. Although as stocky and strong as a sumo wrestler, this monster doesn't seem to be able to live up to its true potential on its own. A right-handed monster that wields a sword far too large and heavy for it to handle well. A left-handed monster that swings a single sword with both hands. The youngest of 4 brothers, it has an affinity for cheese. Deadly machines designed to hunt down and exterminate monsters of the metal family. If you encounter one, chances are certain highly desirable metal monsters may be in the area. Far more agile than they appear, these monsters are harder to hit than you might think. Their clubs pack a powerful punch. Hunted by adventurers all over the world, their bodies consist of a mysterious gel-like metal. Capable of extremely powerful attacks when psyched up, beware of mad moles who are in a state of high tension. Flower monsters nourished by the anguish of those unfortunate enough to be turned into thorny vines, such as the residents of Trode Castle. Monsters that attack their enemies from the sky. Rumor has it that they can cast spells capable of wiping entire parties, but the truth remains unknown. Ambulatory suits of cursed armor, beware their swords. When driven into the ground, they can stun a group of adversaries with powerful lightning bolts. Thorny rose bushes turned into monsters by dual magus. Whenever one is killed, another is born to take its place. Quick-witted dog monsters. Their loud barks serve to intimidate the enemy and summon allies. Mysterious and unpredictable monsters. Don't let their small size fool you. They are more powerful than they appear. A race of swordsmen, or should that be sword chickens? They boast powerful sword skills and mastery of the Windsickle's attack. Brave slime knights who live for a fight. Although resistant to attack spells, they are susceptible to support spells. A strangely theatrical monster performs a carefully prepared puppet show entitled Love Story that stirs up the enemy in all sorts of ways. Capable of firing huge volleys of poisoned arrows simultaneously, these monsters also carry antidote herbs in case they accidentally stick themselves. Damaging foes with poison needles while argulatorily dodging incoming attacks. Rumor has it that a sting from this monster can cause paralysis. Boar-like monsters with masterful spear techniques. Their Achilles heel is their low agility. Okay, so it's the agility stat in comparison to the users that dictates the effectiveness of wax spells. Or maybe it's just a sensitivity in general. A nocturnal monster that occasionally appears alongside goodie bags in forested areas. Said to carry yak drizzle leaves in their treetops, these monsters have the ability to resurrect fallen comrades. The armored pink carapaces of these insect monsters are highly resistant to physical attacks and spells. Try using magic to lower their defense before attacking. Obnoxious magicians with a penchant for casting spells to confuse their opponents. For an easier battle, stop their magic with a well-placed spell of your own. Former knights enslaved by the power of the Lord of Darkness. Loyal to the core, they continue to fight even in death. Nocturnal monsters that can fly freely through the air. Their preferred style of attack is to dive bomb enemies from high altitudes. Famed for their fancy footwork, these monsters use a variety of dance attacks during battle. See if you can spot them all. Man-eating mushroom monsters that live in shady forests. They cast ice magic to freeze unwary travelers and then use them as fertilizer. A cruel race of demons that can cast instant death spells in an attempt to consign their foes to an early grave. Vicious beasts whose obsession with bodybuilding has turned them into even more formidable foes. Use spells to level the playing field. Golden creatures that have taken it upon themselves to protect the Holy Isle of Neos and the god statue erected there. That we proceeded to kill without mercy. The result of many small slimes fusing together and bestowing themselves with a crown. A slime with royal aspirations. The iron carapaces of these fearsome creatures are virtually impervious to sword attacks, but they are susceptible to explosive spells. Undead corpses that live in poisonous swamps. If you have a hard time hitting them, try psyching up first. Fearsome demons capable of channeling the power of the underworld into a dazzling light attack. Aristocrats of the monster world, famed for doing the hustle dance when in dire trouble to tip the balance of battle in their favor. Ninja-like monsters that execute rapid turns and rush their opponent's legs in an attempt to trip them up. A crafty monster that quietly observes its enemies to determine the weakest member of the party. Beware its talons. Frogman! Frog monsters with strange patterns covering their bodies. When provoked to reveal the human face on their backs, they can use powerful spells and ice attacks which damage the whole party. To all appearances, these monsters look like nothing more than normal treasure chests. Try to open one, however, and the joke's on you. Beware the fearsome mimic. In groups, these otherwise silly-looking monsters are capable of playing melodies that can lay low even experienced adventurers. I don't know whether this is West Argonia, considering that basically we've only really encountered these things right outside of the High Lord Priest's residence. Gargoyle. Masters of the air, these monsters take flight on their leathery wings and attack foes from above. Famed for launching into a strange dance that steals opponent's MP before running off. Although not particularly strong, these monsters can be quite annoying. A monster whose enormous flabby body and lolling tongue belie its intelligence. Generally uses spells to raise its attack power before unleashing a powerful strike. These otherwise unassuming little lumps of flesh are in fact powerful magicians, capable of casting both fire and air-based spells. Feisty monsters that resemble giant bulls. They paralyze opponents with burning breath before charging in for a ferocious attack. Strike or slice these monsters all you want. Their undead flesh feels no pain. Beware of their tendency to call in fellow ghouls to sway the odds in their favor. A killer suit of armor with a grudge against humanity. This monster boasts high offense and defensive capabilities. You support magic to subdue it before it uses its own magic to put everyone to sleep. These massive slimes are theoretically capable of fully healing all of their allies in one go, but actual recorded cases are quite rare, except when I have to deal with them. Humanoid night stalkers that prowl the paths of the world, preying upon unwary travelers. Beware their dazzling light attacks and huge axes. Although they are capable of casting spells, these monsters are rather more hocus-pocus than proper magicians. These vicious monsters are masters of ice attacks. Their undead steeds appear to be made from the bones of lesser demons. Ferocious insect monsters that love nothing more than tormenting humans, fond of casting blinding spells and exhaling a venomous mist during combats. The combined form of four smaller monsters, Jabberwocky. In spite of their penchant for working together, they seem to be lacking in the team spirit department. The stubborn head of the mighty Jabberwocky, an unyielding blockhead of a leader, famed for never having apologized for anything in its entire life. The selfish body of the mighty Jabberwocky deeply resents Jab, Kia, and Walk for forcing it to carry them all the time. The pompous right arm of the mighty Jabberwocky never misses a chance to guilt-trip Jabber and Walk into thanking it for its healing ability. The egotistical left arm of the mighty Jabberwocky, constantly on the lookout for a chance to use its magic to speed itself up and flee. These monsters use their horn pipes to herd wild sheep to lush green pastures. Their flocks are utterly devoid to them. Bird-shaped killing machines. When attacks reduce their HP to a certain level, they self-destruct in an attempt to take their foes with them. A monster scorpion that sends unwary travelers to an early grave. Highly resistant to fiery-based spells. Born fighters, these monsters are masters of the thin air attack and highly resistant to air-based spells. A silver beetle monster, protected by its iron-hard carapace. It can shatter boulders with a headbutt. The physical manifestation of the flames of a subterranean volcano, fond of using their scorching breath to give adventurers a warm reception. Recent converts to the cult of the Lord of Darkness. Use magic to fell them quickly before they have a chance to curse you. Acolytes of the Lord of Darkness that gave their own lives in sacrifice. Their flesh is gone, but their faith remains to fuel their hunger for battle. A giant axe-toting dragon, fond of using their scorching flame breath to roast hapless travelers. Aristocratic monsters, using their spear tips, they trace their family crest in the air and unleash a powerful magical attack. Green devils that make their home in remote areas, they curse their foes with a point of the finger. Although these monsters appear to be vicious and unthinking barbarians, they're actually masters of a spell which can resurrect fallen comrades. A clump of souls fused into a hideous ball. These monsters are highly resistant to magic, so psych up before attacking. Silent and intimidating bird creatures that like to prevent their foes from using magic before attacking them with razor-sharp talons. Risen from the remnants of a magnificent ancient city, a visceral nostalgia for the days of old led bricks from the ruins to spontaneously assemble themselves into human form. Former priests of the cult of the Lord of Darkness, their enslaved souls remain on Earth to punish those who dare to intrude into the dark ruins. Originally created by a renowned Arcadian sculptor, these statues were so exquisite that they took lives of their own. Flying monsters that have a full command of the strongest ice magic. They live in cold areas where they feast upon the frozen flesh of dead animals and unfortunate travelers. A slime from the world of darkness who has mastered the slime spank, a secret attack technique used only by slimes, a fearsome foe indeed. Said to be the soul of a man betrayed by his lover, the terrible pain of her deceit froze his heart and turned him into a vengeful monster. Once ordinary wolves, now enslaved by an evil power, these unfortunate creatures tend to band together and live in packs. Gruesome giants with grotesque smiles. They love to pound the enemy with their massive clubs and, with their high HP, can take just as much damage as they deal. A Tanshin queen found in snowy mountain regions. Few can survive her cool breath when she fully psychs up. 8 monsters with fur as white as a blizzard. They pack snow into ice balls and furiously hurl them at enemies. Needless to say, their temper is higher than their habitat. Fly monsters that feast upon the flesh of fallen dragons. They are rightly feared as insect versions of bomb boulders. Invented by the infamous Dr. Dort, these killing machines don't feel pity, remorse, or fear. Once activated, they will not stop until every living creature within range has been terminated. Ferocious ice warriors, born and raised in the deep mountain snow, said to display a chilling hatred of all things warm. Born from the darkness, these creatures jump from shadow to shadow to sneak up on foes. They are completely unaffected by physical attacks. Kind of odd that this is listed as a Farberry region, considering that basically we've only really fought these things in the Dark World and also in the Evil Jessica fight. Travelers who happen to encounter this monster can't help chuckling, and if they're fortunate enough to defeat it, they can't stop smiling. Born from Silver Frost, these ice monsters live to punish those who hate snow and blizzards. Beautiful Masters of the Sky, beware their resistance to support spells and their ability to heal multiple allies simultaneously. Pot-bellied monsters known for their scaly coats, which repel fire and ice-based attacks. Strange monsters that surround themselves with magic barriers to deflect spells. They are also associated with good luck. It's said that any who encounter them are sure to find true love. Though I don't feel lucky when I have to fight them. A fearsome foe with multiple arms, specializes in using several different weapons simultaneously, tactically astute and quick to exploit individual weaknesses. A stone giant formed from a headstone deep within the dark ruins that absorbed an evil soul and turned into a monster. An evil bird monster that flies through the skies of the world of darkness, casts powerful healing magic on itself and its allies when it's close to defeat. An overweight warrior with a penchant for using magic to double its attack power, fights like a real macho man. These dedicated and fiercely loyal monsters stood alongside Rhapthorne when the 7 great sages first faced him down. A fearsome tree of death in the world of darkness, trees grow from leaves rather than seeds, sprouting branches first and roots last. A dragon warrior uses magic to defend yourself against fire, lest you be consumed by their searing flame breath. This foul demon is completely resistant to thunder-based attacks, said to be a physical form of thunder itself. A tiny star system from the world of darkness emits an eerie light that makes enemies more vulnerable to spells. Warrior creatures that have dedicated their lives to freeing Rhapthorne through macabre rituals ever since his imprisonment by the 7 sages. They may not look it, but the Grim Rider's donkeys are monsters in their own right. They are utterly dedicated to their riders, cannot talk. Born from the toxic sludge of the dark seas, prevents foes from attacking by singing funny songs and making them laugh. These monsters combine the strength of four-legged and winged creatures. Use physical attacks to defeat them as they are highly resistant to spells. Once able to fly freely, these fearsome birds descended from the skies long ago to become swordsmen on terra firma. They haunt their foes by calling them chickens. A flying alligator creature that uses its enormous weight to body slam unwary foes into submission. A warrior beheaded in battle and risen again as a monster, said to occasionally summon dark condors. Frog monsters with 2 faces. The sight of the demonic faces on their back is widely regarded as an omen for death by adventurers. The number of eyes hidden under their masks consistently changes during battle. When they roll a 6, expect to see a bombardier join the fray. A bomb boulder join the fray. A heligator that somehow lost its way, ended up in the world of darkness, and began a new life as a Darkodile. A one-eyed giant possessing incredible strength, fond of splitting the skulls of its enemies with a swing of its enormous club. Nightmarish creatures born from blood spilt on killing fields. They plunge battlefields into turmoil by beckoning other monsters into the fray. Fearsome demons capable of casting some truly explosive spells. Some theorize that these monsters are an adult form of the mini-demons. An overweight and cautious dragon. When threatened, it takes a swig of its armor secco essence from its jar to restore its HP. These dancers of the Netherworld once played a central role in the rituals performed in honor of the Lord of Darkness, experts in a variety of dance steps. Aggressive monsters covered from head to toe in hard scales. They use magic to lower enemy defenses before moving in for the kill. Leaders of the Troll World. Their imposing bulk translates to a massive amount of HP, resistant to damage and difficult to defeat. Treasure chests brought as tribute to the Black Citadel, transformed by the power of the Lord of Darkness into vicious monsters. Bird-like monsters that patrol the halls of the Black Citadel. They carry swords consecrated by the Lord of Darkness himself. Talented and trusted monsters that serve as guardians of Rhapthorne's throne. They are powerful indeed, with no weak points to speak of. The fury of the Lord of Darkness taken physical form as a powerful monster, combines sheer size and strength with an overwhelming hatred for anything human. An apostle of the Lord of Darkness who sacrificed his own life in order to serve his master, calls upon other monsters to fight alongside him during difficult battles. Powerful warriors enslaved and imprisoned by the power of the Lord of Darkness long ago. Rhapthorne's awakening stirred them from their slumber. Few travelers survive an encounter with these foul monsters, as every beat of their dark wings fills the air with a poisonous powder. Ferocious shadow cats that prowl through the darkness. It is said that no one who ever sets eyes on a dark saber cat ever lives to tell the tale. A strange pair of monsters living together in a symbiotic relationship, said to drop an exceedingly rare pair of shoes when defeated. These powerful dog monsters are a handful in their own right, but become even more difficult to defeat when they call upon Hell's gatekeepers for help. A mysterious monster that slipped into another world during their search for prey. When in a state of high tension, they can even experience adventures with a single chop of their axes. Fearsome demon creatures belched from the depths of hell. It is said that they leave an eternal killing field in their bloody wake. Almost nothing is known about these mysterious and phantasmal monsters who have a penchant for luring travelers to their death with an evil dance. The mighty combined form of the head of state, the body of politics, the right wing, and the other right wing, left wing, feared for its mastery of lightning magic. The self-proclaimed brains of the team, capable of casting both lightning-based and healing spells, boasts of being elected by its fellow party members. In reality, it was handed the position by their father. The huge and sluggish body politic resists all but the most dedicated attacks. Dealing with hiccups. Paying for chuckling evilly during battle. In reality, chuckles evilly all the time. Incessantly complains about the activities of the right wing, body politic, and head of state, but lacked the motivation to actually do anything about it. And then social media came. Like a demented jack-in-the-box, this well-camouflaged monster lives to surprise unwary travelers, often carries precious material that can be used in the alchemy pot. Once a king among men, killed during a crusade to destroy the world of dragons, his bare soul bears a grudge against them to this very day. A knight that traded his physical body for the power of the Lord of Darkness, lofts his sword high into the air to call down a divine punishment upon his foes. Undead creatures that torment enemies with an array of powerful and destructive breath attacks. Psych up if you want any hope of landing a solid hit. A general in the army of the underworld, already powerful in its own right. After psyching up its attacks, it can injure entire parties with a single strike. A mad planet with evil ambitions, calls forth meteor storms to destroy any who dare to oppose it. An incredibly destructive monster with an attack power beyond imagination, said to carry extremely rare seeds. Fearsome magicians who hold the power of life and death in their cruel hands. Masters of magic, they are adept at casting every form of spell. A monster that stands guard at the gates to the netherworld, calls forth an Elysian bird to drive your monster team back into reserve. An enormous airborne alligator creature with a cruel smile and vicious chuckle. Beware its powerful body slam attack. The juvenile form of the same type of monster as Calamari often tries to play with the enemy instead of attacking them. A healer of the sea will often flee immediately after healing an injured comrade. Can be quite difficult to hit. Their cute appearance belies the ferocity of their attacks. Known for preying upon ships at sea, which they surround and subdue with powerful paralysis spells. Like pop stars of the deep sea, these vile vocalists call other monsters to their aid with their smooth singing voices. A fish monster with a pig-like face. Its flesh is poison to anyone foolish enough to eat it. The anchor of a ship that sunk with all hands on board, given new life as a vengeful monster, launches itself from the seabed in an attempt to bring other ships down to share its fate. That reads like a Pokédex entry. Expert healers of the sea, focus your attacks on these monsters first, as they are capable of resurrecting fallen allies. Crayfish monsters covered in ultra-hard armor plates, particularly resistant to air-based spells. A monstrous form of moray eel that subdues enemies with a mouthful of poisonous fangs. A fearsome hunter of the seas, uses magic to decrease a foe's defense before slashing at with its razor-sharp talons. Feared by sailors, who also call these monsters terror tentacles. Due to the high HP of king squids, you may want to use instant death spells rather than physical attacks to subdue them. Fearsome monsters of the deep sea, capable of using Giga Flash to dazzle enemies, remarkably agile and hard to hit. Fearsome and angry wharf monsters, use spells to attack them, as weapons have little to no effect on their tough steel bodies. Evil mermaids that seduce and lure unwary sailors to their death with the tantalizing promise of puff puff delights. An elite among mermen, The hard scales covering its body bestow complete resistance to fire-based spells. Beware of their high attack power. Long feared by sailors, these monsters use their vicious lances and lightning-fast reflexes to deprive unwary ships of treasure. A fearsome fighter of the seas with razor-sharp claws, capable of spinning its body like a propeller to cut the enemy to ribbons that cannot talk. What? Though why would basically these guys appear before enemies from the Dark Citadel? After enemies from the Dark Citadel. Rulers of the Deep Sea, these monsters boast incredible vitality. Generally speaking, they are nearly impossible to defeat with physical attacks alone. Okay, on to bosses. A bitter and vengeful merman who has long sought the torture feller responsible for dropping a crystal ball on its head. Calamari. Although, wait, did it say that basically those calamari kids are basically the yeah. Yeah, we've been killing this guy's kids! Although temporarily transformed into a ferocious brute by Dual Magus' enchantments, Calamari is actually quite a kind fellow at heart. At one time, he planned to open his own comedy club. Too bad we can't see HP amounts. The cursed spirit of the abbot of the former abbey, which was destroyed after being stricken by the plague. Slaying this poor creature put an end to many centuries of suffering. A monster that carries the precious Venus's tear in its mouth. Its guiding motivation appears to be its obsession with priceless jewels and treasures. A self-proclaimed artist and music lover. Unfortunately for those around him, his love for music doesn't necessarily mean he's any good at it. Don Mole's loyal henchman, willing to endure anything for their boss, except listening to his music, that is. Long hunted for their precious Argon hearts, these monsters run at the first sight of humans. The largest and most impressive Argon lizard. Its Argon heart is said to be pretty huge. Once an ordinary jester, his theft of the scepter from Trode Castle gave him magical powers beyond imagination. Dual Magus transformed by the awesome power of the scepter. In spite of his newfound might, his lethal curses proved to have no effect on Thwomp. He's so blue. Jessica, with her mind enslaved by the evil will of the scepter. Thankfully, the power of Domenico's magical aura restored her to her former self. A legendary pirate who sailed the high seas in search of the world's most precious treasures. His trademark hat never goes out of style. One of the guardians of the Door of Judgment, deep within the Dragon Graveyard, has carried out his duty for too many years to remember. One of the guardians of the Guardians of the Dragon Graveyard attacks candidates to test their worthiness to undertake the trial. The godbird capable of traveling between worlds joined forces with the Seven Sages to imprison Rhapthorne long ago. Rhapthorne's right-hand monster took Imperia's egg hostage to force her to attack Dark and Pichu. Domenico's beloved pet dog, transformed by the power of Rhapthorne's scepter into a vicious monster. Kind of odd that just resets his flight animation. Angela's half-brother attempted to harness Rhapthorne's power but ended up being enslaved by it. Okay, once the world's most powerful warrior, his abilities attracted Rhapthorne's attention and earned him a place as a sentinel in the Black Citadel. A perfect likeness of Thwomp, created by the evil powers deep within the Black Citadel, now just a normal statue. A perfect likeness of Yangus, created by the evil powers deep within the Black Citadel, given life by Rhapthorne's foul ambitions. It attacked the party. A perfect likeness of Jessica, created by the evil powers deep within the Black Citadel, not nearly as squeezable as the real thing. A perfect likeness of Angelo, created by the evil powers deep within the Black Citadel, just as much trouble as the real thing, and worth nothing in terms of experience. One of the main guardians of Rhapthorne and the Black Citadel draws upon the power of the deepest, darkest seas to destroy the world of light. The ruin of the Black Citadel itself, risen to defend its master Rhapthorne from Thwomp and the party. The Lord of Darkness, his soul is imprisoned in the magical scepter of Trode Castle, while his physical form is entombed within the god statue on the holy isle of Neos. He dreams of rule in the world of light. The Lord of Darkness himself, so powerful, so large and imposing that he covers up part of the text. The Lord of Darkness himself, taken physical form and grown powerful enough to absorb the massive Black Citadel into his new body. The Lord of the Dragovians, who sacrificed his sanity in an attempt to abandon humanity, returned to his senses through the effort of Thwompinus and the party. Okay, there are probably other monsters, but darn it, that's all. Okay, so anyways, with that said, we're just gonna go quickly revive our monsters, and then we'll go and challenge Rhapthorne again. Because there's an ending that we can get, now that we have the Argon Ring. I didn't think that would take me 40 minutes. Okay. Oh, right. Monster Arena. Yeah, we'll keep Jessica's whip on. You know, we haven't used this thing, but I've been leveling it up. Might as well use it. Actually, you know what? For the first phase of the fight, we'll basically keep Jessica's scepter on. Yeah, we'll heal up at Medea's Spring, and then basically we'll head out and fight Rhapthorne. Yeah, though I can't help but imagine just how badly we are going to whoop his ass. Okay, let's get going. Too bad we can't just warp to Imperia. But I can't believe it. We're almost done. The final episode of this playthrough. 120 videos. Can you believe it? Just 120 videos. 4 months worth of videos. Yeah, I love the attention to detail with just the ship being below us. Yeah, let's just land here and just heal up at the end. Where did we land? Okay, we landed near the castle. We landed near Pavan's castle, so let's just warp off. You know what? We'll make it symbolic, you know? Go back to where this game all started. Yeah, though, as much fun as I've had playing this game, I think I'm going to take a break from RPGs for a while. because just it has, because as much fun as I have had playing this game, it has been a bit of a time sink, basically. Yeah, so basically I'm going to handle something a little bit snippier, a little faster paced. Though I am open to doing other RPGs in the future. Okay, let's stay overnight. Okay. Yeah, to think, basically, at the start of this playthrough, I struggled just getting to the waterfall, just that little walk from town. Okay. Southeast, southwest. Yeah, though, as long as this playthrough has been, I'm very glad that I didn't do it as a stream, because basically, if I would have done it as a stream playthrough, it would have taken so long to complete. I would have been just tired, I would have been zonked out when doing it, and all in all, just, I would not have had any spryness. Basically. So yeah, just, as long as things were with these, have been with these daily uploads, I don't regret it in the slightest. I don't. But still, it's kind of funny how this how 2025 has become the year of the RPG. Oh right, yeah, we gotta remove it for the freaking scepter. Because we can't just fight Rhapthorne, no.
You will need it only I, the Lord of Dark. But when I can give, then we cannot. Please.
No! Look, I want to just have fun just decimating the final boss with basically our newfound strength.
You will need it only I I will the Lord of Dark, but when the I can, then we cannot afford to delay this battle any longer.
Oh right, yeah, she heals you.
You must.
Yeah, sorry I'm going to be speeding through things. It's just that basically I want to just get right into the good stuff. Yeah, Rhapthorne thinking that he can take us after we fought the freaking Dragon Lord and got our asses handed by him. Buff. Let's use a Kabuff. Jessica, you can use an Accelerate. Okay. Godbird Scepter. Godbird Scepter. Godbird Scepter. Okay. Scepter. 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 Yeah, I'll heal up next turn. Okay. Yangus. Angelo. Okay, and Jessica, where is it? Although kind of odd that Rhapthorne isn't trying to attack isn't trying to attack Imperia. Okay, Godbird Scepter. Godbird Scepter. Godbird Scepter. Godbird Scepter. Really, why can't the You know, it'd be really cool if you had where the Dragovian, the Lord of the Dragovians, he fully has his senses, and then you fight Rhapthorne, and basically, boom, just instant kill. Okay, Omnislash. Okay, Yangus Kabuff, Angelo Kabuff, Jessica. Use Accelerate. Okay, we're all good. It's coming. Yep, called it. Okay, Godbird Scepter. Godbird Scepter. Godbird Scepter. Godbird Scepter. Okay, Godbird Scepter. Godbird Scepter. Godbird Scepter. Godbird Scepter. Still, I'm liking the casual feel of this fight after everything we've been through with that final dungeon. Okay. Okay, we got 5 of them. You know what? I think we could do it. I think we could do another one. Actually, no. Let's not risk it. I'm gonna heal. Yangus, Kabuff, Angelo, Kabuff, Jessica accelerates. Okay, well, at least we managed to get that Yangus effect off. Okay. Godbird Scepter. Godbird Scepter. Godbird Scepter. And Godbird Scepter. Okay, yeah, we got this. Next turn we'll be able to easily resolve this. Okay. Yangus, Angelo, and Jessica.
My beloved kin, now our dear world, we will be watching.
Meddling. You will rot in hell. You shall
Okay. Timbrel of Tension. Timbrel of Tension. Ugh. Alright, forgot about that. Okay. Psych up. Okay. Ah, Sage Stone. Okay, Angelo. Temporal Tension. And Jessica, we'll swap out yours for... Yeah, we'll swap out the... We'll swap yours for the Gingram Rip. Okay. Angelo. Oomph on... Actually, no. Okay. Falcon Slash, Yangus. We'll go in with the power. Angelo. Okay. We'll use... Okay, we'll use... Oomph on... us. Jessica, use Oomph on yourself. Okay, that's a new one. Trode's in the sky. What is this? Can we admit that Trode is one of the most powerful people in this game? Omni-heal. Yangus. Helm Splitter. Oomph on Yangus. Actually, no, let's oomph on yourself. And as for Jessica, We did Omni on Yangus. Okay. Okay, Yangus. Psych up. Angelo. Use a Falcon Slash. And as for Jessica, Temporal of Tension. Yeah, Angelo actually gets some licks in this time around. He's not just a pure healer. Okay. Parallax. Angelo. It's not a battle until Yangus wins it. But just, that was worth it, just to see Trode standing in the air. Just Yangus, I summon the power of Granddad. Just Trode just flying there. Just T-pose. Trode was only using a small percentage of his power.
And I have...
Who? Oh. But
I trap each you. It is...
It just goes to show you just how much just being level 45 can just absolutely break this boss. Yeah, I really was handling things underleveled. Yeah, it would be nice if I could basically just skip right through this.
Here.
I...
Neither...
And
This
What about the princess and...
where the
Well...
I am
Good. Nah.
hello. Fa Hey!
Trode!
So is there a way to skip through this? I mean, I enjoy seeing this as much as the next guy, but I mean, I just want to see the second ending. Yeah, I can just imagine this conversation go out. Yeah, the hero just, hey, you want to see my grandfather? My mouse grandfather? Yeah, then watch out after you get the other ending. You get basically you get some additional extra. You get another post-game dungeon. You get another 3 post-game dungeons. No, I can just think of an even better ending, basically. Bonus ending. Lord of the Dragovians basically he comes in, crashes the wedding, and just absolutely throttles Charmless.
Yeah, this. So. Oh yeah. So I'll be.
Yeah, what was the description of the Argon Ring, out of curiosity? Yeah, we've already talked to people.
It's... I just ran it. I'm a busy man. Anyway, just do...
Oh, Angelo's so wonderful. He says he wants...
No, I'm just imagining Angelo essentially setting up his own brand of Oliver Twist pickpockets. Except instead of pickpocketing, they're basically used as basically props to help him get girls, basically. Darn it, I'm going to need 3 children. Oh, I didn't talk to you. Alright, I think I may have talked to you already. Yeah, I always get turned around this place. But still, just... I know I'm feeling a little antsy right now, but just rest assured, I've had so much fun with this. Just playing this game and just really enjoying the time. Yeah, the only thing is that basically... Why is the door locked? Yeah, the only thing is that basically if you're really going to get into this game, you need to really get into this game. Where basically just... Where you can't just be like, oh, hey, I'll play 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. No. If you want to complete this game in a timely fashion, you are going to need to sink hours into it. But hey, I mean, it's time well spent, really. Just the combat feels so smooth, and I do appreciate just having turn-based combat. Because after dealing with the live action of Okage, it can kind of feel a little stressful, you know? Where you're basically just... where it feels like go. Yeah, really. In some ways, I would say that compared to this game, Okage is a very tame RPG where you can get away with just, heck, for healing. You can get away with just standard nuts for a good chunk of the game.
Hey.
Heck, there's ever a point where nuts aren't a good healing item.
You look pretty... You know, I'm not much, but enough. Can you... Huh? Okay, then.
Yeah, so anyways, as I was saying, just, to be honest, I wouldn't know, basically, if I would suggest Okage as a good intro to RPGs or not, because basically... Well, certainly, if you're playing this game, just, if you play this game first and then you go into Okage, just, you are going to be in for a bit of a shell shock, where basically, just, where it can feel a bit like a punch to the gut.
This is the last, I wonder... Oh, well, we can stay.
Damn it, I was speeding through. Medea, come on. It's always time. But I love how basically, instead, yeah, Trode learns that basically, technically, the promise, the old familial promise could be fulfilled with our hero, basically. He could have easily used that as leverage of saying, hey, it's your brother's son, the promise is still fulfilled, game on. This is how the plan's going to be instead. But instead, both him and Clavius, basically, Trode waits until just the last possible moment to screw over Charmless. I just can't help but just enjoy that moment. We're just seeing Trode in his true absolute pettiness. Where it's not enough that basically get Medea away from that little gutter snipe, but instead basically just absolutely just destroy that child's reputation. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Trode's sword skills that he learned, that basically we saw him using against those guards, those were acquired after the adventure. Trode was training for that moment, so he could absolutely humiliate Charmless. That, or basically, you know how in Skyrim the game starts off with basically your character about to be executed, and then basically Alduin comes in, just saves the day? Just have that sort of thing, where basically just the Dragon Lord, he's in his dragon form, he's just burning down the island. And then he flies away with Charmless. Yeah, so in a way, now that I think about it, Charmless's fear of lizards, basically, it's kind of prophetic, considering that basically the hero is basically half dragon, he's half reptile. So basically, he is a lizard man, and he's stealing this guy's wife. I can just imagine basically the reason why Charmless is so scared of lizards is because when he was a young kid, some soothsayer approached him, hailed him over when he was in the market.
Well, so this is Sevilla Cathedral. Excellent work, young man. You shall
yeah, so
stay the
basically
night
just
at the inn and return to Trode tomorrow.
Yeah, so basically as I was saying, basically just the soothsayer just hails Charmless over and then tells him, Lizard man. What? Your wife will be stolen by a lizard man.
But I thought...
You know, I have to give the developers props. They truly wrote a truly outstanding douche of a character. They did it. Basically. It's like the $6 Million Man, where basically it's like, we have the money, we have the resources, we can create the ultimate douchebag.
Goodness.
The ego of Lisa Simpson, the bragginess of Hiyoko Sayanji, the self-righteousness of Tenko, the grating smile of Taka.
That brat is unbelievable. Can't let us in on account of our being too common, indeed. The preening little snob.
Yeah, when ironically enough, the only one that could really apply to in our party is Yangus, and even then, Yangus is a king among men. Seriously, Yangus is class. He just brings class everywhere. Who wouldn't want Yangus at their party?
Since the initiation, but he is still just as obnoxious as ever. And yet tomorrow he's going to be marrying the princess. Can you believe it? Wait a minute. The ring. You still have the ring, don't you? The one that belonged to your father. If you have it with you, go and show it to King Clavius. If he knew you were his nephew, he might just change his mind about this ridiculous marriage. Go and find him at the Lord High Priest's place and see what he says. It has to be worth a try.
Yeah, basically then we approach Clavius. He kills us with the Argon heart. I can't have it. I can't have Elitrio's power getting back into the kingdom. I can't stop it. Elitrio's powerful on his own. Yeah, I can just imagine just Yeah, frankly, it would. You know, what would be hilarious if Elitrio's Argon heart ring was just basically this massive Argon heart, like twice the size of the one that we got. Basically, it's twice the size. Because basically Elitrio, he just jumped on it and just ripped its head off. He's just snapped its neck with his bare hands. Then, or no, better yet, Elitrio just ran over to it, basically. He ran over to that Argon lizard, Terminator style. And then just punched right through its chest. And then just ripped at the heart. So how are we going to get to the High Priest's residence? Are we just going to get warped there? Because we don't exactly have a bird to go there. Oh. How did we get here? I don't think the lift was operational. Yeah, Angelo called the guy in. He called in a favor. Haven't seen you before. No doubt you're an attendant from Trode or Argonia. It's a right pain having to work this way, eh? Can we leave the residence accurate? Actually, no, I don't want to run the risks. Watch out, it's like, oh, you leave the residence, you're getting the generic ending. Is Rollo asleep in here? What the? Charmless stole Rollo's bed! He outdouched Rollo! He outdouched Rollo! He outdouched Rollo! Medea, it's alright. It's alright, I tell you. I could just imagine Rollo goes to bed for the night, and then just Charmless pushes him out of the bed, rolls him over. Where's Rollo? What'd you do to Rollo? Where is it? Oh, you're the chief of guards from Trode, aren't you? The one who escorted Princess Medea here. I got a feeling I'd met you somewhere before as well. Oh, of course. You're that traveler who escorted Prince Charmless to the royal initiation. Good as me. I implore you to keep that little episode to yourself. It would be mortifying for him if it got out. This guy stole Rollo's bed! Yeah, now I'm imagining basically the Lord High Priest haunting this guy. Speaking of which, one thing is that apparently I missed out on a piece of conversation that actually confirmed that Marcelo actually did kill the High Priest. And of course, it was in the typical Rhapthorne manner of just stabbing him with the pointy stick. And just when I thought that basically one character could escape the fate of basically the pointy stick. So I can't believe that Rollo got forced out of his own bed. And now I can just imagine basically Rollo getting visited by basically the ghosts of the High Priest, the Lord High Priest, as well as Francesco. And basically, they just, you know how Luke gets visited by the Force Ghost? Just have it where he gets visited by just the spirits and they're like, are you gonna take that from him? Are you gonna take that from him? Yeah, basically, Francesco's prophet ancestor sage, the Lord High Priest sage, just all of them are going to team up and they're just going to whisk Charmless away. You know that one scene at Family Guy where basically Joe gets whisked away by the otherworldly spirits? That's going to happen to Charmless.
It's you. Yes, I remember. You are the adventurer I gave the royal magic mirror to some time ago. What brings you here tonight? You look like you have something important to tell me.
Slap him with it.
Ring. It's set with an Argon heart. How on earth did you acquire it? I must admit that your tale is enough to give even me pause. It sounds as if you truly are Eltrio's son.
Though you recognized him as being Eltrio's son the second you met him! Considering that basically he is pretty much a doppelganger to Eltrio.
How else could you possibly know all the things you just told me?
Yeah, well, frankly, who else knew about it?
If my brother had not left his country behind to go after your mother, he would be king of Argonia now.
Yeah, though frankly, it's kind of shocking how Eltrio basically, he didn't just assemble the royal guard and basically just to at least give him some backup when he was going off the mat. Frankly, if Eltrio had some guys there, they could have easily swept that village. They could have swept that village no issue, basically. Eltrio, you give him 3 guys to serve as meat shields, bang! Eltrio would have had... Things would have been different, basically. The Dragovian Sanctuary would have been part of Argon. Of Argonia, basically. He would have ruled it with an iron fist. Give him 3 spare turns and he would have just absolutely wrecked that place up.
And if you had been born a prince, then I suppose it would be you marrying Princess Medea tomorrow.
Well, technically, if Eltrio didn't go after Zia, then basically, well, the hero wouldn't have been born.
But those are just what ifs. It would throw the kingdom into turmoil if another heir appeared at this late hour. I cannot possibly recognize your claim.
We gave you a big-ass Argon lizard heart. You saw the big-ass Argon lizard heart. You set us up to take the initiation. We passed the initiation. We passed the initiation 4 times over. We could have 4 Argonian princes. We have the legitimacy of 4 princes.
Please try not to think badly of me. You must consider the subject closed. Please leave now.
Yeah, just that smile on the hero's face. That's not a smile of happiness. That's a smile of I am going to commit regicide right here, right now. I am now the king. Yeah, basically, it cuts the blades to black. Then the next day, they're wondering where Clavius is, and then basically we go in wearing the Clavius hat. Carrying his severed head, throwing at Charmless's feet. I am the king now. No! It would throw the kingdom into turmoil. Well, we're thinking badly of you. Yeah, different ending my ass, basically. Why can't we kill this kid? Come on! We are the most powerful people in the land. We have a big-ass sword. We could easily take on Charmless. Just sneak attack him in his sleep. Oh, please, if people learn that there was an heir other than Charmless, I'm pretty sure that would actually strengthen the royal family. It would strengthen the kingdom, because basically they would know, hey, Charmless isn't our only option. There's hope for the future yet. Watch out, there's something else you have to do. And then morning came. So are things gonna play out differently, or is it a thing of just, oh hey, it's just a slight cosmetic change? Hey, not that the normal ending's bad or anything. If the normal ending, in fact, is basically arguably more of just a slap in the face to Charmless.
Rise and shine, Gav. The princess, we've come all this way. We should at least try and get a glimpse of her all dolled up.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, considering that basically, where basically just under the normal ending, basically, Charmless, for all he knows, he got his wife stolen by just some random guy.
I'll go on ahead then, eh? I'll be waiting in front of that big church.
Yeah, how much you want to bet that the only reason why Clavius is the way he is because basically Eltrio, he was terrified of Eltrio. Basically, Clavius knew that if he acted anything like Charmless, basically, Eltrio would have just suplexed him.
We thought you weren't coming. The ceremony's already started.
It's even more insulting that Clavius doesn't even invite us as a +1.
It's bedlam up there with all those people. I doubt anyone would notice you among the crowd.
It's like, screw you, Eltrio, I'm not even gonna be nice to your son. Yeah, meanwhile, Trode, if he was in that situation, he would have said, damn it, I'm doing this. Until the wedding ceremony's over, no one, not even a pilgrim, is allowed behind the cathedral. Now, if Marcelo was writing this, it would be kind of a mixed bag. While Marcelo would probably be, Marcelo, he would just flip the bird. He'd be like, hey, you want to go back there? Go back there. Screw the royalty. Moments like this make me wish that Marcello was high priest, basically. Marcello, he would not be putting up with Charmless. He would just absolutely destroy Charmless.
What a crowd!
What's going on?
People are saying...
I'm more interested in seeing the new Lord High Priest than the...
Congratulate...
Hey, stop pushing!
Wow! Oh.
There you are, Gov. Right, this... Well, we've got this far.
Yeah, we have an invitation. We've got the 5-fingered invite.
What?
Yeah.
I never get tired of that.
You leave him to me, Gov. Go on, in you go.
No, better yet, Angus, Grandad! And then Trode and his boys just rush the guy.
Honestly, where has the princess got to? What's taking her so long? What do you think you're doing? Are you trying to ruin my wedding? I won't stand for it. Guards, get rid of him at once.
Why on earth would the Templars even think about listening to Charmless?
Wait. That will not be necessary.
He is the +1. But really, just who's writing the Templars? Because Angelo left the Abbey. Marcello's not in the Abbey. What was that sound? It sounded like a reverb. Is my mic reverbing on me? Okay. Ugh, and now I'm paranoid. Okay. Yeah, but anyways, as I was saying, basically, just... Well, yeah, Yeah, I was making the +1 joke.
He has a right to be at this ceremony. I have reconsidered. You are the rightful groom.
Just absolute, just screw over Charmless in the worst possible way. And then Princess Minnie and just that look she's giving, just that soulless look. She is just, the blow is so powerful. The burn so savage. It's siphoned the life from her. But anyways, yeah, I was saying, who's running the Templars? Marcello's no longer there. Angelo's no longer there. The Templars, I think, are running things.
Father? How can you say such a thing? I'm the rightful groom.
Yesterday evening, the boy you see standing there gave me this ring.
Do you know what this means? It means that Eltrio's bloodline lives. And if Eltrio's bloodline lives, if even a drop is still in the living world, then damn it, he will end us all. We will die a horrific, gruesome death if we don't bend a knee. Damn it, Charmless, I am not dying because of you. And then Ghost of Eltrio comes in and just lists Charmless off to the underworld.
What's that? Is it an Argon Ring? I don't understand. Only members of the royal family who've passed the initiation should have a ring like that.
This ring belonged to my elder brother. It was Eltrio's ring. That boy is his son.
Yeah, but you know, I just realized something, basically. The Hero and Medea are both proven to be... Actually, no. I was about to say that basically Eltrio... Basically, Clavius aged like milk compared to Eltrio, basically. But then again, that was nearly 20 years ago.
It is only right that he should be the one to marry Princess Medea.
No! I won't allow it!
So now, you poor child, now you shall suffer the wrath of Eltrio's bloodline firsthand. You will learn why I lost my left testicle. You said you lost it to the Argon Wizard! I lied! Eltrio took it! He smashed it under his boot after he beat the snot out of me. That's why you're only half a man. You're barely even half a boy. That's because Eltrio just practically destroyed the other one. He left it barely intact, so as not to completely wipe out our family in the event of his own demise. He was smart like that. He was as smart as he was brutal.
Princess Medea is promised to me, so I'm the one who's going to be marrying her!
Pardon me for interrupting, Your Majesty. I've just received word that the bride is now ready to make her appearance.
Open the doors! Allow the bride to enter!
Now I can't believe that Trode pretends to be surprised. Meanwhile, this was all part of his plan. Yeah, notice how he's not fighting guards here. He's bringing Medea in. He knew. The man knew. Yeah, and then we officially destroyed Charmless's inheritance. We've effectively said, Charmless, you will no longer have a throne. That's as funny as just Trode. Though I have to admit, just there's a charm of just Trode absolutely kicking ass.
Oh, blimey, Father. And now I'm just imagining just Trode. Yeah, Trode's just so excited because basically you know that Trode is basically going to be just in the bedroom on that night. He's gonna be in the bedroom. He's gonna be just having the flag. Go! Yeah, Trode and Yangus, they're both gonna be in there. Yangus, go, Guff, go! Go, Guff, go! Just standing right by the hero. Go, Guff, go! Go, Guff, go! Yeah, and then Trode's ultimate punishment against Charmless. Trode had Charmless kidnapped in the middle of the night by Yangus, basically. Yeah, Charmless, he's just taken back to his own, to Argonia. He's just basically just in this bad place, like, how could this day be any worse? And then all of a sudden, just they hear a crash. Yangus rips open the side of the carriage and just whisks off with Charmless, like how Donkey Kong carries off Pauline. No, better yet, just Yangus carrying Charmless over his head, just like Murray would an enemy, and just takes him to the castle, knocks him out, and then Charmless wakes up and he's tied to a chair and has to watch the consummation of the Hero and Medea's marriage. But honestly, frankly, it would have been just so humorous. I would have loved to see just an interaction between Marcello and Charmless. That would have been a beautiful interaction, basically. Marcello having absolutely no craps to give to the aristocracy, and Charmless being this absolute brat, basically. Just Charmless being this absolute brat. Yeah, frankly, if Charmless had even interacted with, if Marcello had even the slightest bit of interaction with Marcello, if Marcello had even the slightest bit of interaction with Charmless, you know, he would have made his entire speech that. He would have made his entire speech about basically how much of a terror Charmless is, and how he's what's wrong with the world. Well, I wonder, basically, if you did not complete the cash and carry side quest of reopening the casino, would you see that in the credits? Yeah, because from what I can tell, you couldn't really do that side quest until basically you defeat Dual Magus.
I mean, basically, if you can basically handle the threats in the Dragon Graveyard, then you can certainly handle Doom Magus. So, can we skip the credits? Yeah, though it is kind of interesting to think just what the game would have been like if Dual Magus had remained a constant threat throughout, and he wasn't just defeated around the halfway point, you know? Dealing with a little gas right now. That's what happens when you basically talk for basically 2 hours straight. So is the ending going to remain pretty much consistent with what we saw? Yeah, but I will say this, basically. This bonus ending, it's nothing really all that ground shaking. It's the kind of thing where, hey, you want something to do after completing the game, here's a little bonus for you. It's kind of like the perfect endings were in the Guacamelee games. But unlike in the Guacamelee games, which absolutely punish you, I feel that this was just a standard, basically just increase in difficulty, you know?
It's been a long journey. A lot has happened along the way, but it's all worked out well in the end. How curious to think that you would have been Prince of Argonia had things been different. Fate deals strange hands indeed. Well, pooh to those old promises made so many years ago.
You just fulfilled the promise!
Now you two are free to decide your own destiny.
Never mind that now, Father. Look, we're home. Home for good.
Okay. Wait. No! Let me save the game! Okay, this is a little humiliating. Okay, basically, they're not letting us resave the game. So, I'm going to lose all the progress that we had. So, yeah. Anyways, on that note, I think that now would be a good time to end things off. I really appreciate that you stuck around to watch this series. You're a great sorry, I messed up my outro. Anyways, I really appreciate that you stuck around to watch this episode. You're a great viewer, and I hope you come back for the first one of my next Let's Play, which will be uploaded on the date listed in the description of this video. If you like this video, like, subscribe, comment, share, do as they want with that. I'll see you next time. Bye.